Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss on different topics like spirituality, interpretation of video games, or at times even dreams, although I'm kind of waning down a bit on this, and well, especially introspection and spirituality sometimes, but much rarer, things about my video game. The two video game projects that I'm working on, and at times video game analysis, analyzing other games, which is something that I really like, but for some reason I'm just keeping it very low. Now, my projects usually take long to develop, so I usually need to keep this channel active with videos on the topics that I like, which are introspection and spirituality. So if you're new to my channel, feel free to view any of the other bits of content that I have posted. This video will be part of what I call a wisdom shorts. It's a a series of short videos in which I present topics as short as possible. And the topic of this video is personas. Okay, now a persona is something that we all create. Okay, and we are taught in a way that having personas, okay, or these personalities is not a good thing. When you were a child and you had, your own temper, right, and you wanted things to be done your own way, most especially before parents succeeded, in the case they ever did, to, make you act only like them as if their life is their only truth and it should and must be your own truth as well. They call you that you either have a temper or you have personality. Okay, now a personality is, well, basically, let's call it like this. Society, in a way, we are finally discovering that it is much more twisted than ever before. Well, it's always been like this, but as awareness expands, we also become more aware. Okay, there are a lot of people who will disregard this or even fight against this because they will feel much more at ease with, the comfort that the unconsciousness of ignorance provides. As I've been saying, the mind provides comfort to those who feed it the most. So a personality is still something that we feed it with, okay? We feed our minds with. Now, ever listen to a song and, it kind of gives you certain vibes, and then you listen to another song and it gives you different vibes. Now, this happens because for every action that we perform, and you can easily see that in your own life, for every action that one performs, there is a certain persona involved, okay? Because we have a certain necessity to manifest something, okay? And not manifest in the term of the flow of distraction, as I call it, but in the sense that you want to do something, you will need a certain, let's call it personality, okay? But it's better called a persona. Now, a persona, the word persona stems from a Latin word which, well, basically is persona, and person in English stems from that. And a persona is basically a mask that actors in the older times would put on their faces so that they would embody different deities, different, natural phenomena, or other things, okay? Spirits, ghosts, rulers, or whatever other psychological or philosophical point. Now, it is called a personality when the mask remains simply stuck to one's face, okay? Everyone who've seen a certain movie, especially a mainstream one, would definitely like to at least be or share a bit of the protagonist's, antagonist's, or any other character's life, okay? Because, well, who wouldn't want to be a Ragnar Lothbrok, or who wouldn't want to be some other character, okay, from their own, favorite movies, or, well, animes or books, okay, because there's also books on this world. Or video games, let's not forget. Who wouldn't want to be such characters? When I was young, I also wanted to be something like that, but for some reason, a realistic part of me would not allow me too much to imagine such things because I was conscious of the fact that I was not invited in those worlds. Okay, those worlds were not for me because I knew that once I would enter those worlds, I would change them in ways that would most likely render many, if not all, the characters useless, or at least the protagonist and antagonist. Now, the point about persona, okay, so personality is a system, okay, and people kind of make you feel ashamed if you have your own personality, because society comes with a hideous term, a term called personality development. Okay, so personality development is a term through which means that, well, development means creating something from scratch, and personality is when the mask becomes stuck to your face. So basically, personality development is how you get stuck to the matrix, okay, through to the three-dimensional way of being, of control or accepting control, because there are so many people stuck into that. Why? Because of expectation. They expect people to do things for them. It's much easier, right? That is why when a ship sinks, many of the people die because, well, they expect other people to save them, and only a few people are rescued because those actively try to be rescued and make everything they can, all the splashes in the water, all the movement possible to make themselves more visible, right? They will try to make use of crates or everything that floats to sit on them, or well, stand on them and, make themselves seen, right? Because the rescuers can only have a limited amount of vehicles, right? So, the rescuers will usually rescue those, will first rescue those who, make an effort to be seen, right? So the point is, well, this unconsciousness is kind of a little problem because unconsciousness is basically a kind of death. In unconsciousness, people simply ignore life. But ignoring means accepting literally everything, but at the same time not assuming responsibility for those things. Why? Well, people say, I'm ignoring my spouse, okay, but the funny thing is that spouse is in their head all the time. People say, I'm ignoring my teacher because they're a fuck, but well, that teacher is in their head all the time. People say they ignore their, I don't know, the people they don't like, but at the same time they are in their head. So the point about that is unconsciousness is a kind of way of dying because in unconsciousness you are disconnected from your emotions. People don't realize that when you draw the line, on your deathbed, the simple point is that your emotions are the only thing that you will remember. Because basically emotions are attachments that one creates through their own personas, okay? Because you will see that you act differently around different people as well. When you are around someone who understands you, you will manifest in a certain way. When you are near someone whom you dislike, you will manifest in another way. When you stand near, I don't know, or when you are doing something that you really like, you will manifest in a completely different way, or in a similar way, but there will be differences. Why this happens is what I call the personal state machine. Okay? Now, a state machine in programming is like the gearbox of a machine, right? Well, let's say of a car in this case. Because the gearbox allows you to be only in one of the gears, okay? And, well, the car will, and you also will perform based on those physical mechanics, okay? So if you are in the third gear, most likely you will have certain parameters to follow, a certain speed, a certain gas consumption, right? And if you see the engine requests a lower or a higher gear, well, you will shift simply into that, right? And a state machine usually means that only one of the available states will be functional, okay? And let's say our emotional system is a state machine as well, because you can only be happy or sad or angry or, one of these emotions. In some cases, yes, a state machine can allow two states to function at the same time, like with your emotions. You can be, happy and crying at the same time, but crying is more like a reaction, okay? It's not part of sadness. But there are those situations in which you can be both happy and sad at the same time. It can also happen, it's not something twisted. But in this world, in this physicality, one needs a persona, okay, to manifest literally anything. Everything is created through a persona, because a persona is what I call a bowl, okay, a bowl in which creation is stored, okay, or let's say more like a funnel. It is a funnel through which creation manifests in one, okay. You listen to a certain song, well, you feel a certain way because you're creating a persona that makes you more receptive. That is why some people, me included, receive or seem to be more receptive when I suddenly think of a song, I instantly get an idea, and then I turn it into a video like this, or I don't know, it's something regarding my video game, right? So there are all sorts of ways that creation communicates with people, especially with those who are more sensitive, but one needs a persona, okay, a funnel. Now, the problem nowadays is through unconsciousness, most people manifest personas unconsciously. So, what I've seen is that these personas are simply manifested, okay, people perform, through the prisms and prisons of those personas from a lack of self-realization. Now, what do I mean with this? Well, what I mean with this is that this is another truth that I have discovered long since, and it's that people always tell the truth. Yes, I know it may sound shocking, but if you become a bit more like, well, my father kind of accuses me that I have this passion to be a bit of a profiler, but well, considering how twisted people can be, and usually are, um, it's very good to actually know whom you are dealing with, okay? So the point is, if you look at things from a different angle, you'll see that whatever people say, it's always their truth. Sure, they may be concealing certain things, but that concealing usually is because they lack something, okay? Every time someone lies, every time someone does something, let's say, bad in a way, well, they do it mainly because of a lack of self-realization, okay? They have something which is not fulfilled within them. Okay, people may lie because they may be afraid of something, and that fear of an outcome, okay, is basically an expectation. They expect something to happen in a certain way, and they react to that thing, okay, through that fear, okay, and usually these are a sign of non-completion, because when you think that a certain bad thing will happen, you will react to that as if your life will simply suck, your life will simply become worse. But your life will only become worse only from imagination, coupled with looking too much outside, because there will always be people who will try to pull you down. But you have to understand that an anchor only pulls down the ship as long as it is under it, okay? So people who want to pull you down will most likely, um, well, actually they are proving you that they are under you, because, well, how can they pull you down if they are not under you, right? If they were above you, right, they would try to uplift you. They will probably tell you one or two tips from time to time in which, I don't know, they understand a certain problem of yours, and probably they will give you a tip or a hint towards another way of possibly analyzing the solution. Okay, that's what I usually call friends. Okay, a friend is someone who usually gets to know you better than you might even know yourself, or someone who can easily understand your problems and through empathy can actually find some solutions. Okay, because what I see friendship, okay, friendship is a relationship, okay, because there are multiple types of relationships, okay. There are, sadomasochistic ones, there are purely romantic ones, okay, there are platonic relationships, okay, there are business relationships, okay, in between two people, or there are also relationships in between companies, because a company is also an entity. So thought forms and personas, if used unconsciously, usually they are a very good pinpoint of what people lack, because those in unconsciousness, they are created from a lack of self-realization, okay? When people are not fulfilled, okay, of their life, well, will simply in a way realize, but probably not fully consciously, but they know, or they feel, let's say feel because it sounds better, they feel that their life is not complete. Okay, they are not experiencing life at a vibration which would be enough for them to simply focus, okay, to shift their focus inwards instead of simply, keeping themselves outwards, okay, because every time you focus outwards, that's only full of distractions, because there are so many things that want your attention, because your attention is simply energy, okay, and everything that wants attention is vampiric in a way. Even when you speak with your friends, it is in a short way a vampiric aspect, because the one who speaks has the control, right? And the other ones switch into the listening personas, okay? And when they listen, they are ceding their attention, okay? Ever had some of those people who simply, they just talk, 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 and you feel like you're constantly being sucked dry of life? Well, it's because the way they speak, okay, they don't give something in return. Because when people listen to you, they are giving you some of their attention, which means they are basically feeding off of your own life. And you have to realize through this that, well, if you have to sleep 8 hours a day, okay, to have the energy for that day to go on, you're basically losing a third of your life to have that little energy that you have each day. Well, probably it's little, probably it's a lot, but it's still limited. Okay, and if you have people that constantly drain your energy, well, you have to realize that you actually have to sleep, okay, so that you have that energy. And if you're spending it with people, who constantly drain you, well, there's something wrong in your life, and well, that's the only reason why you are feeling depressed. Okay, you are doing things against your own self. Basically, you have created personas that work against you. Okay, or let's call them, you have created memes, or you made a meme of yourself, because a meme is a mind virus. Okay, it's something that comes or creates, well, it basically comes with some distractions. It comes with expectations. That's why they are somewhat painful. Okay, so all this being said, hopefully you like this type of video. It's a bit spread all over, yes, I know, but I had to, add all these little juicy curiosities so that, well, people might feel triggered and want to become more introspective to find out more about things, because finding things out comes from within, not from looking on others. Many people will speak based on their own experiences. So if you take others' experiences without having felt them, okay, having realized them, well, unfortunately, they will remain, let's call them stories in a way, because not having experienced something is one way of saying it, okay? It's more likely gonna be a simple story for you rather than a truth you have experienced, okay? So that is one reason why I'm not giving too much attention to the mind, because the mind wants to know more. The more the mind knows, the more comfortable things seem, because, well, the more you think you know, the better you will the better you will feel, right? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Now, all this being said, you are loved and appreciated. Take care of yourselves, and, well, become more introspective, and you'll see that the answers you are looking for, well, they're all hidden somewhere inside of you, and they're hardly waiting for you to uncover them. Always use other people's points as references rather than the truth itself, and, well, stay awesome. Whatever you're doing is the best you can at the right pace for you. Feel free to like and subscribe, even share with others if you think my answers will help them more than you might help them. And, well, feel free to guide them towards my account if you think that other videos may also serve them as well. Take care. Ferengi on board, signing out.